Hello, everyone. Welcome to my English podcast. And today we have a special guest again with us. And probably you already know her, but if you don't, you totally should. Just go there, check out our latest video because we already spoke here before. But today we have a special topic to discuss. Andressa, it's a great pleasure to have you here again with us.
Thank you for the invitation.
The pleasure is all mine. I already told you that I like to practice English with you because you have a great English vocabulary, a great English accent, and it helped me to keep myself motivated in pursuing a better vocabulary, better words to use in my everyday. But today we prepared a special topic to discuss, and it's not easy to talk about it. I know because I have some trouble sometimes to explain my career. But today we're going to talk about your career, which is very interesting, and somehow we ended up working together because your sector, your field also works with mine and mine with yours, so it's a very good relationship area. I hope you are free to first introduce, if you'd like to introduce yourself again. Feel free, first of all.
Yes, okay, thank you for the invitation again. I'm so glad to be here and to have the opportunity to talk in English. And I always wanted to have the opportunity to talk in English always and always, a lot of time. So thank you again.
How more frequent we use, better English will become, and that's why we decided to come. So, as I mentioned, today we have a topic that we're going to talk about career and about our graduation. So, today I'd like to start with Andressa. So, Andressa, can you tell us about your background? So, what are you doing nowadays? What is your background? Your bachelor's degree, your course? So, who is Andressa in the workplace?
Yes, today I work at Quality team, and I was graduated as a production engineer, so a lot of years ago, and studied management, people and business management.
Wow.
Nowadays, I am studying quality and process management because it's the focus of my career.
Wow.
Basically.
That's
nowadays.
Interesting. Pretty good. How long ago did you got your first graduation?
Oh, it was 2016.
Wow, 2016.
Yes.
It is
20,
like
20, yes,
maybe
2016.
like 10 years ago, 9 years ago.
Yes,
Oh, it's a long time.
Almost 10 years ago. Yes,
That's
exactly.
great. Congratulations. That
Thank
seems to be
you.
you are doing a great job. That's why you are here.
Thank
That's why
you.
we met each other because we met in the company. And I really like it. So first question I'd like to ask about it. Did you always want to work in quality team and quality analysis?
I always was not the boring person, but the person who says, that's right, don't do that,
You are
the critical one. Yes, exactly. I was always like that, but I didn't realize this when I was the first level of the career. I didn't realize that there was an area to people who can be like that.
Oh.
So when I started at logistics, I didn't knew the area, quality area, but 2 years later I met the area, so I really like it. I love the quality area today, and I think I do what I do today. I like the most.
Oh, that's the most important thing. People are always looking to do something they love it, but it's not easy to find a way to find a right place for us.
Yes, exactly.
I ended up working as a safe technician, but if I be asked about that, maybe I don't even know how to answer. Where did I end up? So how did I end up to work in safety technician?
So how did I end in this area? It was when I was logistics and the first level, and I became mayor of 5S.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know if you guys know this methodology.
Methodologies?
Yes, Japanese methodology. So I was mayor 5 S's. You can put there.
Yeah, great. Mayor
Yeah.
of 5S is
Yes.
a guy that is in charge of to take care everything in the right place, should be in the right place. So we
Yes.
try to make everything organized. And I should say, believe it or not, it always helped me as well in my
Yes.
field, because if everything is the right place, that means we have less possibilities to have an accident, because people are just trip, fall, and sleep on something that are, just throw in the
Exactly.
ground and throw in
Yes.
wrong place.
So
love it.
I started like that, and then I realized that no, oh my God, this is what I want to do. And since then, I work at the quality area, but I also work with process and
Production side.
improvement continuous, and a lot of other areas that
Brought you here.
Yes, exactly.
All those fields that you passed brought you to the
Yes,
same place. Like
exactly.
you already knew, as you mentioned here, you already knew that you were like a critical one. You like to know the details.
Yes.
Was in the right place, and that's very hard to find someone else today, because
Yes.
people nowadays, guys, I don't know, maybe you're gonna blame me on the comments here, but people nowadays don't want to get things exactly right, 100% right.
Mm-hmm.
They think that, oh, that doesn't matter, 90% is enough. But some things is not like that. For instance, let's suppose that we are doing a medical surgery procedures.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like the doctor came to you and said, oh man, don't worry, I will do 9% of my job.
No, you have to do the standard.
Exactly.
And here at logistics we have standards too. So we need to put this in practice.
Yeah.
The standards in practice.
Exactly. There are many standards, and they exist for some reason.
Yeah.
So let's just follow. Okay, now we know that you were, since like you understand yourself for a human being,
Professional,
yeah,
yes.
you know that you knew that you were supposed to be a critical one, and you're looking for some place that you could use these characteristics of yourself in the race. Now, tell me about what were some early challenges that you faced during your first year of quality analysis and quality?
That's a good question. When I started at quality area, I was like a police, so I was like, you do that, you don't do that, you need to do that. And the first year was like this, and I think today how people could handle with me being this way. So I think today we don't have to be like this all the time, 100%, because if you have the leadership by your side and you have the team by your side, you don't need to be a police and you do that. And just point the problem and don't try to solve with the other people. So
Perfect.
the first year was like that, and the challenge was to convince the team, the leadership, to be by my side and see the view the way I was seeing. So the process doing right, all people doing following the standards. So that was the biggest challenge, to people see the culture of quality in the practice.
Agree. I totally agree. It's called like soft skills. I think it's the hardest one nowadays, because the technical ones probably you already knew, you were good at it, and it's like you like numbers, you like procedures, you like measurements,
Yes.
features. So, but when it comes to understand, maybe each company will have their own way to do
Yes,
things. We
true.
needed to
Yeah.
adapt. We adapt always. And one of the things is the hardest for me also. I think we are in the same boat on that one. It's understand how things work. Sometimes you needed to be a little bit harder, to push harder. Sometimes you needed to just loosen down, just slow down a little bit.
And this challenge was the first years of the career.
Yeah.
Today I know how to talk with the leadership. I know how to convince them to do what I need to do, or what we need to be this thing to be done.
Exactly.
But back in the days was it was hard. But today it's easier because I learned in the process. Now, along the years, I was learning, and today it's easier for me. So it's not 100% right, but we are on the way.
We can manage it.
Yes,
Yeah, now we know how to manage it.
It's easier today than was years ago.
Great,
sure.
great. I faced that problem. And guys, believe it or not, there was a time at my first year that I was fired as a safety technician. But I don't think it was regarded to that. But yeah, I had the problems. We had an argument with some other workers there. And, things didn't end up as I thought it would be and should be. But I do believe that I was right, 100% following the law, following the rules. But as you mentioned, we needed to know how to express it. It's very important.
The communication. I think all the problems in the world is communication, so we needed to face the communication as clean as possible. We have to be communicative.
Yeah, communicative.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But now, as you already told me that you were, critical one, that makes you think that you should work on this field to follow your passion. Now, I would like to know, first, what inspires, as you are working in this field for almost 10 years, what still makes you be inspired to get better, to develop it, to do the greatest things? What moves you forward?
Yes, when you work at this area of process and quality, you know some rules and standards, for example, ISO, ISO, and this is one of the things that keep me, motivated to work at the area, because when you work at the company that the ISO was implemented.
That follow ISO?
Yes, that follows the ISO. You can see how things get fit and follow together, and all the things it's connected, because one process gets to another, who gets to another. Perfect. And today I work at a company that it's not follow the ISO by the
whole process.
The whole process, yes. Yeah. But we are following, baseado. Based, yes, we are based at the ISO. So things are starting to get connected, and when you see all the things connected, all
outcomes, all the results,
the brain explodes, because it's very nice when you...
Everything makes sense.
Everything makes sense.
I got you. We were discussing that before we recorded, guys. We talked about this topic, and she was telling me that exactly what she told you here, that when she does see the things working together and the outcomes that it can provide, that it can generate in your company, in your career, in your daily life, you start to become addicted to it,
Yes.
In our life, we start thinking that we should do better ways and should react in better ways in our life. So I got your point, and I agree. Now, the second or the next question that follows here is, what does a day in your role look like? So what do you do in a common day in a company? Of course, you don't need to mention the company, but you can tell us what is quality analysis look like a day. What's a day of a quality analysis?
Today my activities at my job, it's all about based at the ISO, but not 100%. So things like process audit, we have every week we have, and we have a lot of process too. So it's a lot of audits, process audits.
It's a huge company.
Yes. So. And with the audits, we have action plans. We have to manage with the leadership. So it's a lot of actions we need to take care to. And you talked about analysis. Yes. So we have to analyze a lot of non-conformities. So we have a lot of non-conformities. So we have to analyze these non-conformities. And the program I was telling you about the 5S. So we have to manage this program, and the program of Buddy. We have a Buddy program too, that is a person who helps us to make the process happens the right way by the standards. So it help us here too.
Wow. That is a great point. You brought here a buddy. Buddy,
Yes.
as you mentioned, it is very interesting because does these buddies are normal employers? So
Yes,
and
normal
they
employers,
how happen that? How does it happen? Like people are trained to that? You choose them, and what happened?
Yes, we had this selected period. We have to discuss. We discussed it about how the skills these people have. This person has to have, and how is the performance, and how, if the person is communicative or not, and the person has to fit the profile we need to the program. So then we have a training with this person about 1 day,
A whole day.
a whole day, yes. Now this team helps us to make the process in the area.
The factor.
Yes, in the factory we have this person to help us to
follow
the procedure with all the other people, and including the new person, the new employees. Yes.
Very good. I ask it, guys, because I know what she's talking about, because I sometimes I face it. I cross with some of them, and I see they doing their there was a time that I was in the factors field, and I asked to employee, and I asked him, "What are you doing? Why are you so worried about?" The person answered me that, "Oh, I needed to do my my butt assessment. I needed to do my butt assessment." She was answer some questions on the applications. It was very interesting to know. Congratulations! It's a great program. We put others in charge of their own sector, their own area. So it's much better than we try to do by ourselves.
Yes,
so.
And it helps the team to grow up and show them up to the leadership, because this person will get skills, more and more skills, and maybe get promoted in the future.
They can highlight themselves, They can be like a person in an emphasis, evidence.
Exactly.
So now, since our podcast is called English in Your Career, tell me, I want to ask you, how has English played a role in your professional journey? What do you use English in your career, or if you don't, are you planning to do it? Tell me about English in careers, as we are talking about.
Today I actually don't use English a lot. I'm sad about that, because I would like to use the English more and more, and not just because of the money I spend to make the courses, but because it's an experience you have to learn in English, to train your English every time you can, because if you don't, you can forget the words, just like I'm now in some words. And I think I could use English more, but sadly I don't use nowadays.
In the workplace?
Just to see some communications of the
read emails sometimes.
Yes, some emails we receive. Some warnings. And that's the way I use English today, and talking with you every time we can.
I'm glad that we have her here, guys, because some days ago I was talking and speaking English on Episodi, which is a website. I did not earn anything to share this, but I was using Episodi, and there was a girl that asked me how could I practice, and I explained that luckily I have some friends at the workplace that does speak English as well, so that helped me, because stays in contact with English. Like you said, if you don't use, you lose. And I'm afraid also to lose it. I don't want to, and I will not allow myself to do that, to lose my English skills. That is not what I'm going to do. So now I'd like to ask you about the last question here. First, I already asked you what keeps motivated, but what's something you wish more people understood about your working in quality? What do you wish that people, if they knew exactly, as you mentioned at the beginning, if they knew that, maybe they will give the right value to the quality team.
Yes, I think it's that's what I said, that if the team and the people really sees the quality not as an area of the company, and if they see the quality as a culture and supportive team that will help them to make improvement, get the standards and apply the standards at the
Work factory,
yes,
and the process.
I think that's it. If they see as this, not like this area, but as an help them to improve
To
their
develop
process.
the company.
Yes.
That's what you do. You will help the company to be greater. You know,
Yes.
you are helping the company to be greater. Like without, how can I say? I can't stop to thinking about it. Like sometimes I pick up myself, like with my own desk, for instance, a messy. My own desk is a mess, and I can see in this tiny place, which is my desk is tiny, so we have a lot, a huge office, but just on my desk, I can feel that like 5S, which is a quality feature that we have to use all day. I can feeling that when my table is a mess, when my office is a mess, I can find things easily. I can't, organize my things. I feel uncomfortable.
Be more productive.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And the quality, as I said, it's not an area; it's a concept. So people have to understand that quality area is a concept you implement at the field and at
a way of living.
Yes,
maybe.
A way of living because. It has to be with all the persons at the company, not just with the persons who are working at the factory, but all the levels.
From the bottom to the top, you know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I totally agree, and I certainly will try to keep my desk a little bit more organized.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
I know, guys. She went to my room some days ago and she said, "Oh, that is a mess."
That's a mess. I wasn't saying that. But
Yeah,
if you
she was a little bit more kind, okay? Because as we talked here. But anyway, guys, that was a little bit about our podcast. We came here to talk about quality team, quality analysis, which is a person that has more critical way to see, a critical eyes. They will help, but a critical in a good way. As Andressa said, maybe the quality team should not be seen like a police officer. They are not there to punish anyone or everyone or do that. They are there just to keep things good organized and well organized, or maybe put things on the right place, and also to create procedures that sometime maybe in the future will not even be necessary to have a person to look to the organized sector, I'm just talking here about organization, but that's not quality team. that is just a tiny piece of quality team does.
Exactly.
That just came to my mind like with a huge, I should say, a huge action that quality teams does, but they do many more things. As she said, they must follow ISO and also must follow some standards that a company already built to apply to the company, to the field. And it's much more, everything that you look on the factory, at your company, wherever you go, at the shopping mall, wherever you are, just even have a free time, you can see quality team working.
Yes.
You just need to have the critical eye, and you're going to notice that there are a lot of job involved to create this harmonical place. So, Andressa, thank you so much, Andressa, for sharing your story with us. It was for sure inspired and much insightful, I would say. That's the beautiful word to use. Of course, to our listeners, that if you enjoy this meeting, if you like this video, if you'd like to see more videos like this, and would like to have a different topic that we discuss here, just please comment below. Share this link, of course, with your friends, coworkers, with others, people that you think it would be interesting, and keep contact with us. Keep here, focus on this channel, keep tuned, because we're going to bring so many another topics here. And again, it was a great pleasure, Andressa, to have her here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the invitation.
Bye-bye. Until the next one.
See you. Bye.